Welcome back guys to another video. Today I wanted to go over a little bit about how I structure out my characters on Procreate and how I put different pieces to it in layers, because I think one of the most important things that people don't understand is that having it all on separate layers saves so much time if you make a mistake, saves so much time in actually creating the piece, and then if it is a commission and they did want the PSD or the PDF with the layers on, they have the ability to go in and do whatever they want their end to change stuff, colors, etc., to save you doing it as well. So it saves you a bunch of time. So here I've got the layers that I use and how I've done for my mascot, who you can see in the bottom right of your screen. So on the bottom layer would always be digital sketch. So this usually is my pencil sketch, but I accidentally deleted the pencil sketch. So I'm just using the outline up the top here as a reference, but this would be not as neat as that as a sketch. So that would always go on your bottom. I always have the opacity lowered to around about 7-10%. So then I can then do my outline on top of that. So the outline would go on the top for me. If we bring that in, take the sketch away, the outline will start on the top. Always put this on the top. Obviously, if you don't, your colours will go all over the page, etc, etc. This just keeps everything all tight. Your outline just on one separate layer, and then you'll go to next. I would have done my colours. Put that on. So when I'm colouring, I would have changed my outline to a reference. Just take it off now, but that would have been to a reference. Then I would have made a new layer underneath and colour drop the colours into the character. Again, all separate. Then if you do have to change any of the outline, if it is a commission piece and they wanted some of the outline changing, all the colours, you can just click on your outline, rub out, add on, do whatever you want without changing anything else to the design. So after we've done the colours, I then like to add on my shading, which I then name and put it above the colours. Obviously if you put it on. So yeah, I always put my shading obviously on top of the colours, because if you put it underneath, it won't be seen. So you do have to structure this out as you go, moving stuff up and down just to make sure you've got the best out of the character. So and my shading, I always change it to a multiply and put it down depending on the colour that you're going over. I then lower the percentage so it looks actually like shading rather than just like a thick black, and I'll always use the colour black. But make sure you put it on the multiply and lower the opacity to whatever you want to get the right feel of the shading for the character. After this, I will then do the white highlights. As you can see, these are on the left hand side of the character where the light would be hitting in. That goes again above the colours, underneath the outline. It keeps it all good. And then again, if you have to change any of the highlights, or if you go over the black outline with your highlights, it doesn't matter, it will be hidden because underneath of the black outline. Then after this, I add my texts in, and again I keep them on a completely different layer to each other. I would not put two texts on the same layer. This way, if I wanted to move this, I can move it on its own, etc. Same with the art one. I can then move that as I want, wherever I want, without messing up any of the other text. And then we'll have our colours highlights. These go in on the left side of the character again, as if the light was hitting. I've got light blue in this. You would choose a colour that obviously goes well with the character colour palette that you are using. And then at the end, I would then add a background. This is like a vector downloaded free background that I do. I add it onto most of my characters for social media. It just looks really good. And then at the very bottom, I'd add a white outline, and then that would give it that sticker feel on the outline, as you can see there. And if you wanted to go one extra, you could duplicate the white outline, go onto the bottom one of the layer, the hue and saturation, take it all the way over to black. This will change the piece black, onto the magic wand and onto Gaussian blur, and then just move it up a bit, and then you'll get that sticker feel and that 3D feel of the character that is like jumping off the page a little bit. Gives it that 3D effect and that sticker feel. But I always keep all of my layers in order. I always name them. It saves so much time when you've got a busy day of doing commissions. You've probably got 3 or 4 characters. This will save you a couple of hours if you are doing this correctly, in the right order, naming them all. And then the biggest point for me is that if you're doing a commission and they do want something changing, if you've got it all in one layer, you can't. You're basically going to have to go back to near enough the very beginning. Doing it this way, you can change everything literally in the matter of minutes, whether it's the outline, the colour, the shading. It all just looks neat and tidy, and this is what the finished product will look like.